How's it going, everyone? So today we have the Stihl HL94K here, and it is a hedge trimmer, but this motor has been used for quite a few different things. Two things before we start. One, apparently there's no other time the laundry can be done except for right now. Yay. So I'm going to try to avoid the noise, but just know that's what you hear in the background. Hopefully it's not too bad. And two, you might notice a large item on the table. That is a generator, and it is kind of in pieces right now, and parts are going to be coming later today, so I don't feel like putting it back together just to have to redo it. So we're going to work in limited space right now on the table, which, whatever. Anyway, story behind this is the person said that it just stopped running, and he doesn't exactly know why. He put it away and never did anything with it, and so right now we are working on that. I have done two things so far. One, I looked at the fuel. There is no fuel. I'm thinking it might just be a problem with the fuel being low, or maybe spark. I don't really know yet. The other thing is I did pull on it. It has plenty of compression. Like, it feels like it's almost brand new. So I don't think we are dealing with the engine issue. The fuel, that I'm assuming, just ran out. Having said that, though, I was working on a machine that the owner had actually dropped, and it was the exact same motor. I ended up buying it from him for $10, but the whole the shaft was broken, the clutch housing was broken, the clutch was broken, and I think it even bent or damaged the crankshaft, so it was going to be costing too much for him to repair. So I bought it for parts, and we just happen to have a brand new OEM Stihl carburetor here we're going to put in here. It was actually a real sad story. The dude bought it maybe like 2 weeks before, and yeah, this is why you always need to be careful with your racks when you put stuff on a trailer. Obviously, this has been used. There's been a lot of junk in there, so that's to be expected. And a couple 5/16 or 8mm. I'm using a 5/16. They're basically the same. Let's take a pair of needle nose. There is a a lot of junk. That's what there is. It's always a joy working on stuff that's both wet and dirty. Will this be too much? No. I don't feel like ripping the line, so we're just going to set it off to the side. With it being wet and dirty, just for our own sanity here, let's just try to clean up a little bit, especially around the fuel lines, because that is going to be an area that we are going to be needing to access. In addition to that, this has an interesting little throttle mechanism on it. Of course, it's a Stihl, so everything about it's going to be difficult, but we need to take it off. The problem with that is it can get a little bit cumbersome, so let's get started with that. There we go. That should be a little bit better. We're going to need this gasket. Now, I have no need to replace this carburetor. However, that primer bulb is looking kind of bad, and for the amount of time that this has been out of service, I can only imagine that the diaphragm and everything in there is not doing too well. So we are going to just assume we're going to be needing to repair, at the very least, this carburetor, which is another thing to bring up. I usually will repair this. This is a fairly decent carb. This is probably my favorite carb that Stihl has, to be honest. Maybe there was a little bit of fuel in there, just in the line though. And gonna try not to damage the lines as best that we can. Don't feel like replacing them, especially since they're not bad. They're plenty pliable. There's a difference between pliable and gooey. These are not gooey, they're just very pliable. Gooey would actually start to rip. And we didn't rip any of these, so far we're doing good. There shouldn't be any fuel in the tank, but just, actually no, there isn't. I'm not going to bother if this is in the way. Next, we need to lift up the carb. First, let's hold down the trigger, and then we're going to hold down this part, and we need to remove the throttle cable from it. This is, do we? Yeah, we do. Okay. There we go. Throttle cable has been removed. Now we need to, this is the cumbersome part, we need to twist it up a little bit. This would be a lot easier with space, but like I said, we're making do with what space we have available. Oh yes, I thought it was a Phillips. Why would it be a Phillips? It's a Stihl. Okay, this line is substantially, or way too tight for what we need to do. So what we need to do is there are two screws that are sunken in the handle that we need to loosen. That way we can move the handle. I'm gonna do that off camera though. Now that the handle is nice and loose, we can push it a little bit forward and we can get a little bit slack going. This is the screw that we need to remove in order to do everything we need to do. Because this whole piece comes off the carburetor. Now, with that off, we should be able to lift it up, and there we go. Carburetor comes right out. The gasket came with the carburetor, so I'm going to clean the gasket up a little bit and put it back on the machine. Here we go. Now we have that. Primer bulb goes out. Like I said, this was like 2 weeks old, maybe, and I've had this carb for a little over a month or so. So the primer bulb looks a little dirty. That's probably just the oil that's still inside there. He took my advice and used Echo oil because I think it's superior to the Stihl oil. I mean, of course it is. It's made by Echo. So there's a little slot that everything kind of fits into, so it's really hard to kind of mess it up, but if you do, just know it'll be off of alignment. This might make noise. Oh, didn't. Sometimes when they're really tight, you'll hear it kind of seems like it's not going in or it's cross-threading. It actually isn't. And here's another part that I'm not really a fan of this carburetor on. This is probably the worst part about this carb, in my opinion, is when the choke goes in, there's like this little arm that connects into this other arm, and if that gets dirty, there's no way you are going to have choke. So I'm gonna make a separate video only about that, but let me go ahead and put this back on. There we go. Now we'll tighten the handle up a little bit in a moment. Let's tip it back up on its side so we can have gravity help us. Luckily, these lines kind of stay in the order they're supposed to be installed. The one in the back goes to the barb in the back, and the one that's in the front goes to the one that's in the front. Pretty easy. I don't have a filter for this. The other filter, while dirty, isn't in horrible condition, so I might just wipe that off, and I might look and see if I have a filter, but I'm 99% sure I don't. at the end of the day, it's better than having no filter. And the owner himself does have tune-up parts. This is a machine that he tunes up, or his other machines like it, he tunes up by himself, so not too concerned over that. All this nonsense off. Get it nice and clean, because we don't want to have dirt and junk in there. I'm gonna maybe blow that out with some compressed air. That's really loud, so I'm gonna do that off camera. There we go. It seems to be tight, but not super tight. I know that sounds like I probably made it super tight, but I really didn't. This is on the lowest setting. Now let's put the filter back in and get the cover, which also is probably not the cleanest thing in the world, but you know, machines be machines, especially professional machines. There we go. And of course that screw didn't exactly line up very well. Let's see if we can't make it line up a little better. There we go. There we have it. I'm going to put some fuel in there, and then we will see if everything primes correctly. Two things. I forgot to put that green gasket back on, so I took it back off and I put it on the outside between the air filter housing and the carburetor. And also I tightened the screws off camera in the handle. So, speaking of another gasket, I just dropped another one for the generator here. This is non-ethanol fuel with Echo Red Armor. So it's pretty good fuel. Now, what we want to see is the primer bulb after 5 or 6 presses fill up. I did look at the filter a little bit beforehand when I was checking for the fuel, and it didn't seem horrible. Fuel filter is really, unless you're in the habit of making, dirty fuel or putting dirty fuel in there, or leaving your cap open all the time. There we go. Perfect. So, I think it's time for us to move the table and then put the hedge trimmer head down, give it a pull, and see what happens. So, it's winter time and it's super wet outside. Just got done raining. Let's see what happens. Okay, that wasn't happening earlier. Oh, violence. Okay, well, I'm going to take off that recoil and see what's going on with it. So, unfortunately, there's only 3 screws. That's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part about this is that the actual rotator part of the recoil is broken. In addition to that, the starter cup also isn't all that great. So I need to buy a new recoil. The unfortunate part about that is we're not going to be able to know until the end. So we might have to postpone this. It won't matter to you because it'll be all the same. It has been a few days later. I installed the new recoil. Like I said, the other one was just completely broken. It just has 3 screws and it comes right off. I might see if I can take this cover off, but it's not too important. Anyway, so that should be good to go. Just to make sure, let's give it a pull. Yeah, it should be fine. I do need to prime it again. It's been, like I said, at least a few days. Choke is on. Let's see what happens. Oh. throttle got stuck a little bit. Cable might be a little gummy, but we'll work on that later. Let's try and get it started again. There you have it. One more saved from the trash can. So if it wasn't for the recoil, we'll just take in the OEM carb, and that's it. The OEM on this is the only one that I'm able to find. There really isn't a aftermarket one that's all that great. There's one that supposedly is an upgrade, and I've used it and it does work, but I don't know how much of an upgrade it is. Seems to work just the same way as it did before, but it is cheaper. However, until I use it more often, I'm still going to recommend only the OEM carb, or at the very least clean your OEM carb. Well, I'm going to let this run outside a little bit more just to see if there's any problems that arise. I don't think there will be, but just in case, I'll let you know. But until then, see you in the next video. Definitely subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If this helped you out, put a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you in the next video. You have a good night.